What are your expectations? Anything going to come out of that tomorrow in terms of what the Senate asks and what he answers?
David, if we've learned anything over the last 6 years, it's that the Senate will put on a performance and then go back to business as usual. I don't expect anything to come out of this other than we'll point another day of attention at this issue and, frankly, at the very serious security issues that Peter Zetko has raised relative to Twitter.
Yeah, you say this issue. Explain what you mean when you're talking about it, because obviously you've joined us talking about a range of issues through the years that senators and congressmen have talked to various people at hearings about.
So Zetko is a famous white knight hacker who was hired by Twitter to be the head of security. And he didn't last very long. In the end, he was fired. But according to the materials that he's released to the SEC, Twitter has violated its 2011 consent decree with the Federal Trade Commission and committed a series of really serious security offenses. I mean, business practices that would be unacceptable anywhere, but particularly at a company that has the level of import that Twitter has. As you know, Twitter is the most important platform for politicians, for celebrities, and for journalists. And as a consequence, one has a right to expect that they will take at least industry standard security precautions. And what Zetko is pointing out is that they may have had industry worst implementation of their security policies.
We should point out the last audit by the FTC concluded in May after his departure. So it remains unclear exactly where things stand between that regulatory agency, Roger, and the company itself over some of these issues.
Indeed. And again, these things are done by consultants, and the economics of those consulting relationships give rise to some questions about the validity.
Yeah. You know, he's not going to be treated as a hostile witness, is he? I mean, my guess is it'll be fairly friendly territory, or do you have a different view?
You know, I have no idea, David. I think some people are going to want to make campaign ads, and some people are going to want to just entertain their constituents. We'll see what happens. But my expectation is there'll be, you know, lots of sound and fury, but nothing from an investor point of view. I don't think anything comes out of this. Not that something shouldn't, but rather that I just don't think Congress is in the business of actually enforcing the law any longer when it comes to companies like Twitter.
Right. Well, when it comes to enforcing the law for Twitter, it's going to really be about Chancellor McCormick in that trial that's going to begin October 17th. We've talked about it before. That's going to be about enforcing a contract. Do you have any change based on what you've heard from the whistleblower and your views in terms of Twitter's ability to get and enforce that contract at $54.20?
I do not see any change. That said, you know, Delaware is a very, very business-friendly state. And obviously Elon Musk is a very powerful businessman. And so I think at the moment, you know, my expectation is the contract law is very clear on this, but how it comes down, I think, is largely going to be a political matter, and we'll have to see. I do not know. I would say by all rights, you should expect that Musk will be forced to follow through on the contract. But then again, when is any billionaire forced to follow the law in recent years? It just is not the practice in the United States anymore.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.